2022 was the second highest year on record for mass shootings in the U.S., with more than 640 incidents according to the Gun Violence Archive. Many are now looking back for warning signs from the shooters about their intent to commit future crimes and asking, could they have been stopped? For years, the FBI has been analyzing this phenomenon, which they call leakage.
Leakage is anything that someone relays, whether consciously or unconsciously, that kind of indicates that they are having troubles, they're troubled, they might want to commit a violent act against themselves or others, whether that's suicide or whether that's something as extreme as a mass shooting.
One dataset shows that more than half of active shooters shared their intent to commit violence in some way. And as technology becomes more advanced, there are an increasing number of opportunities.
Before the social media world and before more sophisticated internet connections that we have now, a lot of these interactions and a lot of this type of information wouldn't even be identifiable. It wouldn't have been recorded. So the great benefit that we have is that, yes, stories are telling us, hey, look back at all these things that are signs that might have been missed.
The gunman in Buffalo was previously taken into custody for psychiatric evaluation after making statements in school about wanting to commit violence, but was released.
In the Buffalo case, I think one of the things that stood out to me is that there was a mental health evaluation, a psychiatric evaluation, based on the fact that he had made statements. Law enforcement interceded.
In Uvalde, Texas, authorities identified multiple occasions where the shooter had given clues about his plans.
Though there were a slew of examples of things that might have, in an aggregate, shown a pattern of a concern, the state report also identified that many of those were privately known. They were personally known. Family members knew them or friends knew them, but they weren't all put together.
A judge in Colorado Springs warned that one man's situation would likely get worse if he didn't receive mental health treatment after he was arrested for an attempted kidnapping and bomb threats.
I think whether you look at a handful of situations that just occurred in the past year, Colorado, Club Q is a good example. The situation in Chesapeake, the situation up in Highland Park. You have parents who have some interaction with law enforcement because their family member is acting violently.
Last year, President Biden signed a new bill into law that aimed to prevent possibly dangerous people from accessing guns and boosting spending for mental health. But authorities still face many issues when tackling this problem.
In those cases, friends and family members, intimate partners and spouses, although they are the first to know whether or not somebody is a higher concern, they're the least likely to respond and to report them. Of course, it's a protective measure, right? But if I said to you as a parent, 30 to 40% of these shooters want to kill themselves as well as other people. And by reporting the concern about your child or your husband, you could save their life or the life of those around you. You might react differently.